Bruce here from the Coasters Club, and today I'm in Harry, and I'm interviewing Brian Manera, who's a candidate in the Southern Ward elections for the Westland District Council. Clearly a fireman and a good man to have round. And folks, this is Brian Manera. Now Brian's one of the candidates that's accepted the offer from the Coasters Club, which was made to every candidate to do an interview and to post it so that his views can be known by a range of people. So Brian, first of all, thanks so much for accepting the offer. Yeah. A number of people haven't, which is pretty fascinating. Tell us about Brian Manera. Obviously, I can see that you're a fireman. Tell us about you.
I just live in Harry, run a local business up the road. JH, the fire chief, asked me to join 20 years ago, so I joined up. He runs a good crew, him and Shirley's the secretary, and it's a good group of people, and we try to help the community a bit.
So you've been in the fire brigade 20 years?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Does that mean that if I happen to be mayor in 5 years' time, so I'll be able to give you the gold star?
Yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah.
Is it a very busy fire brigade here?
It comes and goes. The siren can go off at any time. You don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, just run the mill really. You don't really know.
Now the Manera family, it's a pioneer family name.
Yeah, that's right.
And do you live in Harry or Ross or?
Yeah, I live in Harry.
Yep.
And like you say, I'm a fourth generation farmer at Kakapōrai. Yeah, so yeah, that's all we've ever done. The rest of the family. So yeah.
And so a family, the pioneer family. Farming, and now you've had the garage in Harry for how many years now?
Yeah, me and my brother have had it since '98.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'd have had to deal with a few of those tourists that come through on a regular basis?
Yeah, we've got a tow truck, and tourists are a big part of our business now, so we appreciate the tourists. Yeah.
Now, Brian, what possessed you to put your name forward for council?
I just want to represent Southwestern people, listen to what they've got to say. I'm not trying to run the council, I just want to be a part of a council that works together. And I'm prepared to work with whoever's there.
The Southwestern's a big area, and one of the things that I've heard often when I get further south is there's a kind of lack of representation, has been for a long time. Is that something that you'll be able to fix, improve on?
Yeah, well, the way that my own business is going, I've got a bit of time, so I'm prepared to go to the community association meetings, and I live in the area, so I'll be here. If anyone's got something that they want done, I'll try and help.
Well, I've had the pleasure of working with you on the likes of the high school for the heated heating up the swimming pool there. Yeah. I was very impressed with the few words that you said and the way that the job got done.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was. It needed to be doing, so we just done the basics and got the job done. Dealt with a crowd that already knew the boiler, so they knew how the system worked, and they took over and did everything well. Yeah, no problems.
How's Harry going? I mean, it obviously went through a terrible patch in the late '80s, early '90s. How's it? Is it bouncing back?
Yeah, the logging hurt, and in the last 12 months, I think there's 16 or 18 houses sold in the area. New young people coming in with tradesmen, so it's good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Right?
It's a good feeling, isn't it? And you've got a younger group that's coming in doing things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which is quite amazing.
Yeah.
What about Friends?
Friends is tourism, and it's a big part of the West Coast. And I'm worried about the Waiho, but yeah, I think there's people that'll take care of that, and a lot of good work's already been done down there, and I hope it continues.
And Fox Glacier, another major tourism town for us.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Glacier Road open to Fox again. I think Fox needs that, and I know it's a lot of money, but I think they've got to do something. I think the tourists go there to see the glacier, they don't go there for the other stuff.
And unfortunately, that's the inconvenient truth, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's why they go there.
Yeah.
And so you'll be pleased to know that at the moment there's some discussions going on from a private group about reopening the road. Hasn't gone to the minister or anything yet, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm always concerned about what the conservationists will say. I think they hamstring us quite a bit down here, and they've hurt us over the years. And, yeah.
The windblown logging legislation that's kind of jammed in the House at the moment. That's pretty important to Harry, isn't it? With the likes of Dave's operation.
Yeah, we've got skilled people here that can do a good job, and we just need the chance. We don't need all the trees. We just need a few. Just to,
Yeah, it doesn't need a lot, does it?
no.
What about? How did you feel about the Waitaha decision?
Yeah, that was terrible. I can't believe it didn't go ahead. I think it was a straightforward thing, and it should have gone ahead. We can't have electric cars. We haven't got power. It's crazy. Yeah.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
And what about Haast? You'd be like me. You wouldn't get to Haast very often, I suppose.
I worked down there years ago doing communications for telecom, but I haven't had a lot to do down there. My cousin used to be the police officer down there, Robin. So,
Right.
yeah, but I don't know a lot of people in Haast.
So let's assume that on the 12th of October, the chief executive at council gives you a ring and says, "I've got good news for you," or bad news, depending on which way it goes. But good news, you're round the table.
Yeah.
How will you get on with, how do you get on working with a group of people who've all got different ideas, all got different agendas, and all often, like yourself, reasonably motivated? How do you think you'll handle that?
I think I'll just have to go to the community association meetings and make contact with people the best I can, and whatever ideas come out of South West, and I'll take them to council, put them to the councillors, and if I don't get the right answers, I'll go back to the locals and say this is why it hasn't gone through.
Yep.
And
We've got in Harry here, you've got an incredibly well-performing high school,
Yep.
or area school.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've been thinking all the way through is that overseas students perhaps down here could actually help grow their income and expand the school, as opposed to, is that a possibility?
yeah, it definitely is. Like to say that the school's great, it's a good employer, and if the farmers want workers, the working families, they need good school for their kids. That's why we heated the swimming pool, and that's why we built the hall over here, so that we've got things in town to encourage people to come here. And yeah, anything like overseas students would be a great help, and I think it'd be benefit for them. They could live on the farms and learn a different lifestyle.
Brian, how did a community the size of Harry, and I think there's 350 ratepayers or 300 ratepayers, how on earth did you raise all that money to build that magnificent hall?
Well, that was I sort of come along just at the end of it, but it was ones like Lindsay Malloy, Shirley Black, J.H. McIntosh. They just put the effort into it, and it was quite a few years' work, and yeah, they've done a great job.
And it's now up and running. It's debt free.
Debt free. Yeah.
And I mean, for a town the size, and it's a fantastic hall.
Yeah.
I've been to several events there, and I mean, it's really impressive.
Yeah, it is a good hall. Yeah.
So, what do you see as the economic challenges, or not so much challenges, things that are good things going forward? I mean, we've got Nui Thompson down there. Nui's doubled in size.
Yeah, Nui's a great asset to the area. It's quality meat, and it's done well. So yeah, good luck to him. Yeah, he's done well.
I enjoy calling in and picking up 5 kgs of sausages.
Yeah,
my wife always complains about it, and I say, wait till we eat them.
Yeah.
And by gee, they don't last long, do they?
No, it's good quality product that he makes here, and it's well done.
What's how are health services down here?
Through the fire brigade, I have a bit to do with the real nurses when there's a call out to an accident, and we're really pleased to see the nurse turn up. All the nurses are great, and our local one, Rose, as soon as there's a trouble or an accident, she takes control, and we're lucky to have her. She's well skilled, and they all do a great job. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is,
And is she based in Harry or based in France?
This is her base here in Harry.
Oh, she's okay.
Yeah, this is her area. Yeah.
So, looking at the areas that around council table that you've got a particular interest in, what do you think they'd be? We have roads, we have fresh water, we have sewage, we have consents, we have CCOs, we have, we've got a whole range of activities. The group turns over around $38 million a year. So it's quite a big business.
Yeah, it's a big business, all right.
Yeah,
and
so any areas that you have a particular interest in?
Well, I realise that the dairy farmers need good rural roads for the milk tankers. All the trucks and that are getting bigger, so we need to maintain the roads. I think we've already done a lot of work on the drinking water.
We have, yeah.
And it's a bit scary, but maybe small towns like Harahara will be forced to put in a sewage system one day. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
When we look at the latest announcements from government on three waters, biodiversity, all sorts, a whole range of things, all of those are costs. The cost of those all are going to end up on our ratepayer. So the cost will come from Wellington to us as council, and then it'll go to our ratepayer. And we need a strong team around our table to be able to say, hang on a minute, if that cost is going to be dumped down from you to our ratepayer, where's the check? How do you feel about that as a statement?
Yeah, you did right, yeah. I noticed just here, the government says Harahara needed a better water supply, so the council built it, but at the end of the day, someone's going to pay for it, and that had to go on the rates because the money had to come from somewhere, And so you're right, all these improvements cost, and yeah, it's coming back on the ratepayer. Yeah.
And of course we right around New Zealand, we're getting, this 3%, 4%, 5% every year.
Yeah.
And the majority of that comes down from Wellington, as far as I can see. It's not, it can be a bit of a nuisance. Well, Brian, what other things would you like to convey to the voters in the Southern Ward? And that includes Haast, Bruce Bay, Fox, Franz, Whateroa, and Harihari, to enable them to consider whether they should vote for you. And what is there anything else you'd like to say before we roll this up?
I'd just like to say that I'm local, I'm staying here, and I just want to try and do my bit for the Southern Ward, and yeah, hope we all get on.
Well, look, folks, that's Brian Manera. He's sitting for the Southern Ward in the Westland District Council, and Brian, absolute best of luck, and it's fantastic that you've put your name forward. And we'll catch you later.
Right, thanks, Bruce.